Ipswich has been my home for the last 7 years, with an area of 1,090 kilometres squared and a population of around 215,000 expected to rise to 520,000 by the year 2041. So after buying a house, I'm invested in the area, and I wanted to make sure the future of Ipswich is headed in the right direction. I went to the council website and filled out the draft community vision survey, which was interesting and managed to put in my opinion, which is minimal but relevant. It got me thinking about what everyone else's thoughts are in the community and what Ipswich's future holds. So I headed out to the streets, parks, businesses to ask one question: what do you want Ipswich to be like in 10 years' time?
My hopes for Ipswich in the future would be that we have a bustling CBD. I am born and bred here, and I remember scramble crossings and like people everywhere all of the time. So to return to that, to have the CBD prosper and the businesses in town prosper and not have empty shops would be my hope and dream for the next 5 to 10 years. That would be awesome.
I would like to see Ipswich as big as Brisbane, while still keeping the history of Ipswich and still with all the old buildings and everything like that. I would hate to see them knocked down. So just more of like a smaller historical Brisbane would be great to see for Ipswich.
I love that Ipswich puts a lot of funding into family-friendly areas. I'd like to see more of that. The CBD especially is not very family-friendly at the moment. So there was talk about there being like a zero-depth water park or some restaurants that would be more, but I don't know what's happening with that.
It'll virtually be a dormitory suburb for Brisbane. Ipswich itself is spreading out, particularly Springfield and the Orion Corridor and Ripley around the back. Possibly, if our newly elected government pull their finger out, they'll extend the railway line from Springfield through to Ripley and possibly around the back to reconnect with here with Ipswich. As a loop line, they'd be able to run 15-minute services on it, which would improve the connectivity for it.
I want Ipswich to be one of the best places that attracts people, tourism and better roads, and basically, in the middle of the CBD is one-way roads. Maybe restructure, more restructuring, so we've got better parking in the city, in the CBD, and and obviously get a lot of people to come to visit Ipswich.
I think for Ipswich, then we need some more nightlife activities. Definitely some more open spaces as well, I reckon.
Bigger and better. Definitely this area built up a lot more. The Orion part. I don't know, I don't think Ipswich will ever change its roots though.
What do you mean?
No, I don't think the roots of Ipswich will ever change. I just think the buildings and the structures will change, but I don't think the heart of Ipswich is ever going to change. It'll still be the same.
I'd like to see more diversity in Ipswich and a bit more local shops, not just stereotypical like lawyers, that kind of stuff. I want to see more cafes, more places that people can really enjoy Ipswich as it is and not see it as like a business area really. So yeah.
I'd love to see it become more of a city, built up. I'd like to see it more like Brisbane City, I guess, It's up and coming, let's see it up and coming, yeah.
Better than what it is. It needs the mall to be revamped, really. And I mean, the shops across the river don't help. It needs to have the shops over this side to get people back into the CBD.
Well, hopefully it becomes the work industry again, but like it used to be back in the old days. Like if they reopen, say the workshops, the mines, the woolen mills, the timber mills, it'd be excellent.
I think they should have more nightlife for the young ones and more drinking places for adults and older adults, not all clubs, just pubs.
I want Ipswich to be a place where you can raise your family, a very clean area, very safe, where there's got nice, good public and local schools, just a very welcoming environment for everybody to come to and enjoy the great environment that is Ipswich. And that's what I'd really like to see in 10 years about Ipswich, yeah.
More water parks, more playful areas for children, and more things for teenagers to go to and be at instead of being on the streets all the time.
I see it developing a lot bigger. I see Springfield being like its own type of city away from Ipswich. I reckon up Roke away from Ipswich.
A bit more work around the area for mainly the younger kids and also the people who are a bit mature. It's a bit hard to find work.
And Ipswich have more parks and more bins, so there's no littering around everywhere. Yeah, there's a lot of graffiti when you walk around Ipswich.
No, I don't know. Just to get rid of the needle machine in Bell Street, for one.
In 15 years' time, I hope that Ipswich will be a vibrant, active centre here. Thank you.
Probably larger, more prosperous, a few extra jobs, probably a little bit greener, cleaner, and still a city on the river. There's a particular lifestyle that I think we all enjoy, and if we could keep that, I think I'd be very, very happy.
Yeah, and also more transport as well, more buses and the transport for...
Yeah, the transport's pretty in Ipswich. Wait, am I allowed to
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Ipswich is very underrated. It's a very nice area. I mean, can't go wrong with it. I mean, I moved out here to have my daughter and I don't regret the decision at all, so yeah.
Ipswich itself, you can see with the new buildings that are going up to the higher limits, they're going up to 9 floors and above rather than just being 2 floors. That's going to spread the commercial side of it, but it'll depend on how all of it goes in terms of the changing patterns of people's work. Like a lot of people now don't go to work, they stay home and work from home. If that keeps going, you'll see the population of Ipswich rise, but you'll see the commercial activities in Ipswich taper off even more.
But I think they need to do up Bell Street and because people, that's the first thing they see when they come in and they're like, oh, hang on a minute, So if they can try and give Ipswich a better image, then I think it'll be fine.
There's not much opportunity to be in the midst of the city in Ipswich. So yeah, generally more opportunities for families to move in the area.
My vision for Ipswich would be a combination of easily accessible public transport upgrades, more arts, entertainment and community festivals, with an upkeep of parks and more ongoing infrastructure within the city and surrounds.